Hey, my beautiful people, thank you for joining us. And imagine sleeping and waking up in the morning, receiving a phone call that you have won a tender, which after you do your math, it's supposed to give you a profit of 5,000 US dollar. That was me on this day. And let me give you an information of how I arrived at here. You see, I did went and open a company so that I can do some tendering here and there to secure some tender. And I went ahead and tried some 3-4 tender. So when I received a phone call, it was not something new, because I knew I have applied for many tender. And the person who called me have all the information. Imagine a person who know your company, your name, the last thing you have done. So he had all the information he wanted to know about me. And he called me, but he have already called me earlier, like a month before. But I didn't respond because I was going through the grieving. I had lost my dad in that month, so I didn't listen to him what he was saying. So when he called this time, I was so attentive. I listened to whatever he was saying, and he told me that you just go buy some cereal, come deliver to school, and you have your money by the end of the day. And I told him, I am short in cash. How can you help me? The guy told me that, you know what? I write a check for you. Immediately when you deliver your food, you go bank your check and have money. So, and he went ahead to help me, told me that there is someone who was delivering food here, but now he is sick. So I can send you to the person who used to give him those cereal to deliver. And the deal was always he would get those cereal, deliver, then when he get money he pay this other supplier. So I knew I have no issue. I waked up, washed myself, prepared myself, and started the journey to go to find where to get those cereal. And after like an hour, I received another phone call from the same gentleman, and at this time he told me that he have talked with that woman, and he sent me the number of that woman so that we can communicate. I did call the woman, even before I have left the house. You see, I waked up and have my breakfast, so before I leave the house I called the woman, and the woman told me it's okay, I can supply you this and this food, and this food will cost you, it was to cost me around 10,000 US dollar, but for assurance that you are serious with this business, I want you to pay me just 2,000 US dollar. Just that is for security, that to show me that you are a very serious person who want to go ahead with this business. And that's what the woman told me. So if you are making a profit of 5,000, what is the issue? I can pay this small money. Furthermore, the money will add up to amount in those 10,000. So if I have paid 2,000 US dollar, I'll end up paying 8,000 US dollar. It's not like the money going to waste. That's what I did. I said the first bunch of 2,000. Then I started my journey. When I was in the car traveling to that school I was supposed to deliver food, I received another phone call. And at this time I was told I have to get up for transport. So if I don't have that enough money, I can send just 500 US dollar. This woman would talk with the truck driver, and this 500 US dollar would just cater for deposit, then I pay the rest. And the transport was amounting to 1,000, I called the gentleman, and the gentleman told me it's okay. That 1,000 of transport will include in that final payment. So my 5,000 profit remained untouched. I traveled for 200 miles from where I was to that school. But when I was almost to that school, I did call the guy. And the worst thing, the nightmare of many of people who don't want to think of happened. Actually, imagine traveling all that. I called the guy and the guy didn't pick. Then I called again. The guy SMS'd me, "Oh, I am in the meeting. You just come. There is no issue. When I'm done, you find me." And to prove to you that you are doing a good thing, even he did send to me the picture of the check. You see, this check was to assure me that I will get my money immediately. Imagine, I even went to and open a bank account, because the bank which I was banking with it at that time didn't have that instant check transfer. So I wanted a bank that supported it. So I went ahead and opened a bank account. Then I called the guy. At that time I was ready to take a taxi to up to where the school is, because I have come with public transport, so I wanted to take a taxi to where the school was at that time. So I called the guy to ask him to give me at least pin location or any relevant location which I can use when I want to go to that school. The guy didn't receive. I called again, he didn't receive. And after trying for the third time, the phone went off. The guy was not talking, was not receiving my call. Actually, the guy switched off the phone. And I called the woman to ask if she have a number for this guy, a different number for this guy. The woman was also off. At this time, I was not scared, because at least I have a name of the school. So you see, the check which the guy sent to me have the name of the school. I did take a taxi to that school and I asked, "Do you have this and this guy? Let's say the name Peter. Do you have a Peter as your worker in this school?" And they told me, unfortunately, because I was asking for bazaar, we don't have a bazaar by the name of Peter. The bazaar who we have here is a lady. So you go and check whether you have the right detail. I checked again and I showed them, this is a check I received from this school with even the logo of the school. And they told us, yes, this is the logo of school and this check, but this guy who writes this check, I don't know him, he doesn't work here, and even our bazaar is a lady. We don't have a man working as a bazaar. And at that time, that's when I realized I have been conned. But I can tell you this, all this time I wasn't realizing this is all con, because all I could look at it, this money. I was so much focused that this money, I'll have the money by the end of the day. I have made a profit of $5,000 doing what? Nothing. Then when I started, I sit down and composed myself. That's when I realized I was a kind of a fool, or I wanted to have something which I didn't work for it, because all this time I was just applying for this tender. I was applying to the school, to the government offices. I have not gone to any secondary school. I have not gone to any school. So all of a sudden, how did I expect to have that tender awarded to me, even if I had not gone to school? I started replaying the phone call which I had with this gentleman. I couldn't really recognize the guy. I started playing the phone call which I had with the woman. And I can tell you this, I am not 100% sure but I have at least 60% surety that this was all con which was going on, and it was the person who was behind this scam was my ex-girlfriend. After listening to that call, I realized I have heard that sound somewhere, but at that time she have played her card so well that it was not that clear. But you see, if you have talked with someone for a long time, there is those things that you can manage to hear and know this is that person. That after listening over and over at that phone call, I started realizing this might be my ex-girlfriend, and that's why these people had my information. That's why these people knew who I am, where I have worked for, my company. Because all that time, my girlfriend knew about this information before we parted way. The moral of story is, don't tell everything to people if you are planning to break up with them, because they might come to hunt you afterward. And also, don't expect miracle in this life. So if today you receive a voice message or a phone call from someone telling you, oh, you have won a car, and you have played no lotto, you have not played any gambling, where do you expect that car have come? If someone now call you and tell you, oh, you have been selected to be a winner of 1 million Kenya shillings, 1 million US dollar in a lotto challenge, and you are like, even you don't know lotto, but you go ahead and pay money, you go ahead and listening to this guy, and you go ahead. Actually, at that point, I think you are the stupid person. At this point, I think, and I know I was the stupid one. I wanted to have money. I was kind of greedy. I wanted to have something which I have not worked for. To avoid being scammed, I think we should take what we have worked for. You have worked for something that is yours. Don't think of anything else. Thank you, gentlemen and women, for joining us. And for more story like this, subscribe and like, share, so that your friend cannot be like me in future, and comment. And if you have a story you would want us to tell the people, don't shy away, tell us. We will tell people so that make everyone out there is informed. Thank you for joining.